Hi everyone, Crooks here from AutomatedTrading. Let's break down our bot Wave Rider. Wave Rider is a trend-based strategy that takes trades upon the breakout of a consolidation of a range, but it waits for that trend to form before jumping into a trade. So we have a bot called Wave Breaker that trades that breakout, but Wave Rider will wait for that trend to form before taking it. So let me just draw on the chart here a rectangle showing you the accumulation of price. Okay, so we have a range that has formed here, bit of consolidation. Okay, I'm using crude oil and a 15 range chart. So we have here price has bounced up, come down, it's kind of hanging around here. And what we are expecting is we're expecting price to either take a direction upwards, okay, or go down or down. All right, so let's just draw on a couple of arrows so we can kind of see what's going on. So we're expecting price to either come out of here, okay, and go up that way, or we're expecting price to come down the bottom here. Either way, we want to trade the breakout of this range, okay? Typically, we would initially just take that initial push and collect our profit and go and so forth. However, what Wave Rider bot does, it waits for price to consolidate outside of the range before taking a trade. And you may be asking, why does it do that? Well, often you find with breakout strategies, price tends to jump out of a range, but then it also likes to revisit that range before moving on. So what you find is sometimes we have price that comes out, bounces back into the trade, back into the range, and before it then shoots out and continues on its way. Okay, so what Wave Rider is doing is it's waiting for price to have that pullback and then start to form a bit of a trend and then jump in around here. Okay, so I've obviously got a bit of a range here. Let's see what this price actually does. Okay, I have put one of my favorite times to trade for Wave Rider is trading the 3 a.m. so the London Open. So we're roughly about to hit 3 a.m. with our range charts. Let's have a look to see. I'm running 15 range charts. So usually for a 15 range chart, I like to run 15 to 20 take profit and stop loss, a 1-to-1 trade, just to see, I guess, to keep a balanced ratio so that I'm never in too much debt. Okay, but let's see what price happens here. So you can see prices still in that range, and then we have our wave that's been formed, so we like to call that a wave, okay, which is also kind of like a range. And you can see price is hanging around here. So what Wave Rider is going to do is not going to take that initial push, it's going to wait for a bit of consolidation outside and then go, because that consolidation outside the range generally will mean that price will continue that direction. Okay, so you see price kind of bouncing around here, following along. It's then pulled back in, so it's tested that top once. Okay, let's see what happens now. It's tested it again. Okay, so we're lucky we're not in the trade. That would have been losses if we jumped in too early. Okay, but we still haven't broken out. It might not necessarily break out, it might break out the short side, but we have a breakout of the long. We haven't taken that initial push. Okay, here we go. So there's going to be a pullback. Great. Okay, so then typically what happens now is after that pullback, price will then come out, consolidate, and then move on. So let's see if it does that. Okay, it's a nice pullback here. Price has then done its second push. Let's see if it consolidates outside of that wave. And then we're in a trade. Okay, we are in a trade. And there we go, we get our 15 ticks. So what happened here was price popped out, came back in, didn't like the fact that it did that, and then it came out, consolidated out here, so opened up out here, and then it continued on its way. So by using this bot, I have missed a breakout trade here, but if I was to set 15 ticks on my breakout, I wouldn't have got that, and I probably would have been stopped out. This is just an extra precaution that we like to use. So I like to run this on charts at key particular points throughout the day, and I'll show you that later in the video. Okay, so let's look at the parameters for Wave Rider bot. So we start with our contracts. So this is pretty straightforward. Just input the number of contracts you would like to take per trade. Okay. Then we look at take profit and stop loss, which are in ticks. What I like to do is I like to start with my stop loss, and that kind of determines the type of take profit that I'm looking for. If I'm trading NQ, I'll obviously look for something minimum of 20 ticks. Okay, which means that if I want to have that balanced ratio, which we always speak about here at Ace Trading, I need to have at least 20 ticks as my TP or more, so that I have, I guess, my account will grow and I have that balanced ratio, and then I'm comfortable taking losses because I know they're not going to wipe out my entire account. Okay, all the profits that I've been able to earn. The next part is start bot and stop bot. The start bot time is the time you want to start trading, and what will happen is once you put in that time at 3 a.m., for example, candle count back it'll count the number of candles from that particular point. So if I have it as 4, it'll count back 4 candles, form that wave, and then what this bot will do is it'll trade the trend breakout of that wave. So it waits for it to break out, consolidate outside that wave, and then jump into a trade, and it will trade all the way up until 8:30 a.m. knowing that it'll only take one trade either side, long or short. Okay, and you can also change the color of the wave. Okay, so let's look at how we use Wave Rider here at Ace Trading. Like all the bots we use, it is really important that you do your due diligence and you test the bots. And we always kind of start with the strategy analyzer. Okay, so I've pulled up the strategy analyzer already, and I've loaded in Wave Rider for our bot that we're going to be analyzing. Okay, I could just run a single back test, but what I want to do is obviously I want to optimize. Okay, so I'm going to optimize for certain times throughout the day. So I like to trade this bot, I guess, where I think the market will start a bit of a trend and trying to catch that initial trend push. Okay, so break out of a consolidation area and try to catch that initial trend push. One of my favorite times to trade is it's called the evening session. So I'm going to trade the evening session starting at 8 p.m. Okay, I'm going to let this bot run for a few hours. So that way I can figure out, okay, well, it gives it an opportunity to take those trades. I'm going to trade NQ for this example. Okay, so I'm going to pull up NQ. I'm going to look at the last 3 months. Okay, so those things are not going to trade in the optimization. However, I'm going to start with my stop loss. Okay, and with my stop loss, I'm actually going to look at only having 20 to 30 tick stop loss. I'm going to go up by increments of 2 just to make sure that it moves through the optimization at a decent speed. However, I'm going to have a larger option for my take profit. So I'm going to look at perhaps up to 20, up to 50, okay, because I like that balanced ratio, but I'm also looking to see, can I have a larger take profit to, I guess, make more money for the risk I'm putting out there. Okay, so I've got my stop loss completed, my take profit. I'm going to look at candles. I'm going to start with 10, and I'm going to go all the way up until 100. Okay, it will go up by increments of 10. You may be thinking, wow, that is quite large for a wave. You're looking at 10 candles. Well, what I'm going to look at today is I'm going to do something a bit different, and I'm going to start looking, rather than using a minute chart, I'm actually going to pull up our Ace Renko candles. So let me do that. You can see down the bottom here we have our Ace Renko candles. Our Ace Renko candles, I'm going to use 15 and 15. Okay, you may be asking, what is Ace Renko and where does that come from? Well, we have a video here at Ace Trading showing you what Ace Renko candles are. They're kind of like very similar to Ninja Renko candles. However, these ones are back testable. I'm going to show you that today. Like all Renko candles that you test, none of them are going to be 100% accurate in back testing, but these ones are pretty close. I'm going to show you how close they actually are. Okay, I'm going to use 15 and 15. Why am I using 15 and 15? Well, the brick size is 15 ticks, and that means that the next candle will form if 15 ticks are created in either direction. Okay, past that candle. So every 15 ticks, it's going to create a new candle. And that is how the Ace-Renko candles work. I'm using 15 ticks because I'm looking at that earlier in the session. So that session open in the evening time, market tends not to move as much as you would find like a US Open, where there's a volatility increases and you get larger movements. So I'm looking for smallish movements, but then trying to capitalize on that by having my take profit of a reasonable value. Another reason why I'm starting at 20 is because 20 allows me to have a bit of movement with candles. If I have a super large candle down the bottom here, that means I'm going to need to have a larger take profit and stop loss. So it all kind of works well together, right? I'm going to test the last 3 months and include my commissions. Okay, so let's see what we get. Okay, so after the iterations have finished, we now have some results. Okay, we have a 2.18 profit factor, which is pretty good. Okay, let's have a look at some other values here. That gives us a take profit of 36 and 26. We have a 50 and 26, 32 and 26. I'm just going to choose the top one just for this example. It's got a decent win percentage. Drawdowns, nothing too big. Obviously, some great profit for 3 months just running one contract. Let's have a closer look at this analysis here. Okay, we can go down here, we can see all the values. 3 months, it's taken 30 trades, 18 losses. Pretty comfortable with everything so far. Let's take a look at the analysis of it. And what do we notice? Well, we see there's a nice equity curve from about here, but something has happened along here. And to be honest, all bots go through a bit of a lull or a bit of a consolidation. No bot ever just consistently wins and continually goes up like an equity curve like this. What you should expect is if you see an equity curve like this, at some point there's going to be a bit of a horizontal movement or even a bit of a drawback, which you can see here, before it takes off again. Okay, because market conditions are never the same. And a good example of this, I guess, is to look at this is obviously the equity curve, but what about if we pull up days of the week? And you can kind of, this is a good way to see, like, obviously Monday and Tuesdays are good for this strategy. And as we move later throughout the week, the Wednesday and Thursday, we get a bit of consolidation in the market. So we have, I guess, maybe less breakouts. So what I was talking about before is if I was to run my strategy on these particular days here, I'm going to get a good equity curve. But if I was just to choose these days to run it, that's when I would get my horizontal movement. Okay, that's just an example of that. Another thing we can do is we can pull up hours of the day and we can look at the times when is best to run the strategy. Obviously, we're starting at 8 p.m. and we're going all the way to 1:30 a.m. Early on, it's pretty good, and then as the time goes on, you've got an hour there which isn't so great. So maybe a way that I could increase this number would be to perhaps run it for a shorter period of time. Okay, perhaps if I was running it on days of the week, maybe only run it on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. It says Sunday because we're running at 8 p.m., which is because the market opens at that 6 p.m. That's why it shows you a Sunday. So perhaps running it on the first 3 days or the first 3 trading days are great ways to improve this. We can also then look at the chart and take a look at some of the, closer look at some of the trades. So let's go back to. Let's just zoom out a bit so we can see where some of these trades occur. Okay, so we're looking for that 8 p.m. one here. So this is on the 5th of September. So let's see, this is the 5th of September. We're looking at this trade here. You can see the market opened here at, where are we? Let's just turn our localized crosshair on. You can kind of see 5 o'clock, 6, there we go, the market opened, or 7 o'clock, there's a bit of a jump there, okay, 6 o'clock the market opened. So market opened around this point here. So what this bot did was, it looked back, what did it say? It said on the side here, 100 candles, I believe it was. It looked back 100 candles, you see that? So from when it hit our 3 a.m., our 8 p.m., it looked back 100 candles. Another way to improve this bot would be to perhaps, it obviously hit the maximum 100 candles, and I was only testing up to 100. So maybe if I was to test this again, I would put 200 in here, and it would give me different values. So the larger the wave, I'm looking for a breakout, and then the consolidation. You can see there's a bit of consolidation here, and I was able to hit my take profit. right? So this is my first step. Second step would be to run these trades into playback, and if I'm happy with those in playback, then I'll put it on my sim account and then move it on to, I guess, a cash or a performance account. Okay, but before I want to do that, before I put all the hard effort into running it on my sim accounts and so forth, I just want to make sure that it matches up with my playback. So we're going to do that for a moment and we'll finish up there. Okay, so we're in playback. I've loaded up the values. We have our candle count back of 100 and all the values are all set. We will now run this in playback and we will should hopefully see our breakout trade. We know it is a win, so we want to check to see, I guess, if it has the same type of entrance. And you can kind of see here from the, I'll pop up right here the values from the strategy analyzer, and there is a slight difference. And there was a slight difference because Renko candles are never 100%. Okay, we are running 15-15 Renko candles. Everything is the same. Ace Renko, our candles are available to our members. They are fantastic, these Ace Renko candles. They run exactly the same as our Ninja Renko candles. But they're able to be back tested. However, there is a slight difference, which I'm totally comfortable with because, look, if you look at the difference in a few ticks there, it's not going to actually impact the larger movement, okay? Because I'm using a larger take profit here, a couple of ticks isn't going to impact that much. If it was right on the edge and it was right on the edge of the candle, then it probably would impact it, and that's when I want to make sure. But 1 or 2 ticks from slippage, which is kind of normal if we're thinking about trading in a live scenario, slippage is always there. I'm pretty happy with those results. So that is Wave Rider Bot. If you have any questions, please do reach out to us here at Ace Trading, and I'll see you in the next video.